welcome back. So I know it has been a while since my last video, and I always say this with every video. I'm like, I'm going to try to do these on a more regular basis, and I don't. So I do apologize for that. I do it when I can. At least I'm not actively working on a book this time, so I'm actually between books right now. Gosh, it has been such a long time since the last video. I'm just going to try to back up as much as I can. This will be more of just an update and how you doing kind of a video. I have a ton of questions that have been submitted via the website. Some of them have already been answered. Some of them I cannot answer, and I just don't feel like doing that in this video. I really want this to be more of a chit chat video. So let's see. Okay, so last year was kind of a tough year for me. I didn't really put that on social media, but I wasn't feeling very well, and I was just tired, and I didn't have energy, and I don't know, I thought I was depressed. I didn't know what was going on. I even asked my doctor, and she's just like, it doesn't seem like you. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Some days I don't have enough energy to get a shower. So she's just like, monitor it, and if anything changes, just let me know. So towards the end of last year, I started having problems with my mouth. It hurt to eat. I would get like splits on the sides of my mouth. That hurt. I couldn't swallow. Like, I had a hard time swallowing. So that went on. I know for a fact that my mouth was bothering me, I want to say last year, for sure, during my summer dentist appointment. So it went on for quite some time. Well, anyway, kind of just dealt with it, plowed through. I went to the doctor. I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I went to urgent care a couple of times. I'm getting ahead of myself because I want to go over kind of chronologically. So that all happened towards the end of last year. Had the holidays. Whee! And then in February, I went to the UK for Rare. So I freaking loved it. Of course, I was there for like the biggest snowstorm in 50 years. But it was great. I had a blast. I loved meeting all of my UK peeps, and oh my gosh, and the food was good, and the book signing, having everybody there and meeting people that I had only been able to talk to via Facebook was amazing. So I actually went, actually this side, does that look better? Okay. I know, random, but if you watch my videos, you know that's kind of normal. But I met up with peepers while I was there. We did like a bus tour, and we did like the Tower Dungeon little walkthrough. We went to pubs. I mean, I just freaking fell in love with pubs. I'm like, why doesn't America have pubs? I don't know, I probably would just own a table. I would just buy a little brass placard and just put Alanea sits here. And I would take my laptop there every day, and it would be awesome. Got introduced to fish and chips. I don't eat seafood, like, at all. Like, fish sticks when I was a kid, and even then I had to, like, coat them in ketchup. Tuna fish, every once in a while. I took out some fish and chips. I actually pulled the breading back and was just eating it. It was so good. It was so good. What else did I got? I fell in love with tea again. One of the things that they do over there is you get your own little teapot, and you have your own cup, and your own saucer, and your own little baby spoon, and your own creamer, and it comes to you, and that's not how we do tea here. We don't have like the whole ensemble. So one of the first things I did when I got back was I went onto Amazon and I got little baby spoons and little creamers and a cup and saucer set, because I have coffee cups. I didn't have cups and saucers, and so I recreated that after I got home. And and that was the other thing. The tea that I found there, of course it's Twinings. You can get it here, but it doesn't taste the same. Like, the Twinings that's packaged and served over there actually taste so much better. So I found a distributor on Amazon that actually distributes the UK version. It does say UK on the package, and it does taste better. So was in London for that week. And then we checked out of the hotel. When I say we, it's Brenna and I. We checked out of the hotel Monday, not Sunday. So then we just went to another London hotel. We went to the Thistle. We just wanted to stay at on the other side of London so we could just see more. She and I both got sick. And I'm talking head cold, chest cold, almost pneumonia, sick. Personally, I think I was allergic to whatever was in the Olympia Hilton. Like, it had like a musty kind of smell, and I'm not sure I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to be held liable. It smelled old. Could be anything. All I know is I started to feel better when we got to the Thistle. I mean, I was still sick, but it was like I felt better. So that Monday, she took off with Elaine, and they went to go see the Ravens and the tower, and I was like, I can't go because I can't breathe. So I stayed in the room. This is before we checked out of the Hilton Olympia. I stayed at the room. They went out. They came back. We checked out. Took a cab over to the Thistle. Checked in. Elaine hung out with us for a little bit, and then she left, and she flew back to Scotland. I looked at Brenna, I was like, all I really want to do is just eat and go back to the room. So we ended up I had a really good soup at the hotel. It was like amazing. I think it was like a tomato soup. Butterscotch? No, not butterscotch. Butternut squash soup. That's what it was. And we just relaxed. And then the next day, we got up, not real early, and I think we took a cab over to the British Museum. It's, mind you, February. That museum's not heated at all. And I'm like, I can't understand no air conditioning because, like, I've heard, AC, there's no AC or no aircon in a lot of places in the UK. Why didn't that bitch have heat? So I'm, like, going to all the exhibits that had, like, the little stand heaters. And I'm like, ooh. And then finally, it was a couple of hours, and then my stomach started to get upset, and the one bathroom that we were able to find was under construction, and they had, like, everybody funneled upstairs, and I just looked at her, and I'm like, the line is out the door, down the hall, like, literally. I was like, we could take a cab and be at the hotel faster, because we weren't that far. We technically could walk. Oh, by the way, this whole trip, we technically could have walked everywhere, but 1, it was cold, 2, I was sick, and 3, I was lazy. So I didn't mind paying £5 to go 1.5 miles or less. Don't judge me. So we got a cab back, and it was still, I want to say, afternoon, 1-ish, 2-ish, and we ordered tea and toast, and we stayed in the room, and it was just fun. We just sat there and relaxed and drank tea and was on our e-readers and just relaxed. Then we checked out the next day, got our crap together, and I'm like pulling a 29-inch suitcase. The girl who said she wanted to just take a backpack, that shit didn't happen. So I had a 30-inch rolly suitcase, which was like about half my size. And we took a cab over to, I think it's Euston Station. And we get there and we get in line because we bought the Brit Rail. So you can go pretty much anywhere on the rail system. And you have to go in a line, and he has to, like, sign off and, I guess, validate it. And we got our things validated. And we went out to the station, and we're looking around. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just go up to the first class lounge because we had first class tickets. And I know it sounds all bougie, but it's really not. It was only, like, $40 ticket. But they had first class lounge, so we went up there, and we walk in, and the girl asks, so where are you heading? And of course, it was with English accent, and I'm like, we're heading to Glasgow. And she's like, not today or not. And I'm like, is she fucking with me because I'm American? And I'm like, excuse me? And she's like, no, it's canceled. And I'm like, we just got our tickets validated. So, hauling our shit, we went back downstairs and started looking at the boards, and we would see it go, delay, canceled. Everything was boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm on Facebook Messenger with like Elaine and some other girls, and I'm like, I am low-key freaking out right now. What do we do? Because I had already booked our hotels. So our hotel stay for that night was in Glasgow. So I was like, shit. I was like, there's nothing running to Glasgow. And so Elaine was like, well, how far can you get? And I'm like, I think we can get to Carlisle, which was like a halfway point. And she's like, get on that train. Get on the train. Make sure you get to Carlisle. I'm like, okay. So she made arrangements with her husband, who's an angel, and he was going to get a car and drive from Edinburgh, like past Edinburgh, where they live, to Carlisle to pick us up and then drive another almost 2 hours north to Glasgow to make sure that we got to our hotel. So we're walking around this train station. I have no idea where to go. One, because I'm not feeling well, evidently my eyes don't like to work. So I went all of last year with like blurry vision, but I thought it was because my eyes were watering, or it's allergies, or because I had an allergic reaction, it was the steroids, and my eyes must be kind of bulgy and I can't see straight. No, it was blurred vision for a year. I was just being stubborn stupid. And I scared the hell out of Brenda because she's sitting there and she kind of freaked me out, and then I in turn freaked her out because she's just standing there like, I'm like, dude, is she like out? And I'm like, what are you doing? And she jumped a mile and she's like, I'm reading the sign. And I'm like, what sign? Like, I couldn't see it. It was a 2 foot by 3 foot placard with like orange writing. It was like digital. And I was like, oh, like, I can't read it. I can't read it. Thank God Brenda was with me. I had no idea what platforms, like I couldn't see it. So we found the platform for the 11:30, or I think at that point it was 12:30. No, I'm pretty sure it was still 11:30 for Carlisle. We find the right platform, and all of the little train people wear red, like red jackets and stuff. So, oh, and of course, the whole train station is like open air. Like, it's cold as fuck out there. It's freezing. And they're having all of this snow, like blizzard conditions outside. It wasn't snowing when we left the hotel. I will say that. It just like slight little flurries. So we walk up to this guy and I'm like, is that the train to Carlisle? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So he signs it just like the first guy did that didn't warn us that all the shit was canceled. And we walk. We are literally like the only people visible. Like, even the red people from the train station are like disappearing at a rapid rate. And I'm looking at her going, what do we do? We found the right car that was on our ticket. It was like a certain car letter, and it had, you know, these number seats or whatever. So we found our car. There's no way to get on the train. So finally this one little red coat person comes up, and he's like, or I'm like, excuse me, is this train going to Carlisle? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how do you get on? Well, evidently in the UK, you just press that big fucking, I'm talking big lit green button. Boop. And oh, look, the stairs unfold and they come down for you. And I'm like, I didn't know that. And he was laughing. So we get on the train. I'm still not feeling any kind of comfortable because we're the only ones on the fucking train. And I'm like, you know, and what if this shit breaks down? Like, and we're like, what do we do? So we get our gear in, we store it, we find our seats, and slowly other people start coming on the train. And I'm just like looking around like, okay, I think we're going. I think this is good. You know, after like 2 hours of freak out session, she and I are exhausted. So finally the train has, you know, service to Carlisle. I'm like, oh, thank fuck. Okay, we're definitely on the right train now. And they start moving, and they start serving, and of course it's tea and soda and nice little snacks. And I found this new obsession for shortbread. Every time Brenna would get tea, I'd be like, can I have your shortbread? So we went to charge, but halfway to the, like, from London to Carlisle, the auxiliary power stopped working. So we couldn't charge any of the devices. Oh, that's lovely. The sun's going back under. Anyway, so luckily I had a power pack. So, because we were still, like, every time we would pass a train station, or we would, hold on, this is bothering me. There we go. Every time we would go past or through a station, I would be messaging somebody going, hey, we just cleared whatever city, and she was coordinating with her husband to make sure we could meet up. So we finally get to Carlisle, get out, and it is this much snow on the ground. And one thing I didn't want to do, and the reason I was dead set about using a backpack, was I didn't want to try pulling my suitcase through snow. And it's through slush. Not even snow, it's through slush. But I will say this, you walk out of the train station, and there's a Costa Coffee right there. And I fucking love Costa Coffee. The whole trip was, to me, revolving around food and Costa Coffee. Like, where's the closest Costa Coffee? Can we get that first? Is that on the way? Is that between here and the museum? Can we get coffee? So I know Brenna had to have been completely over me at a certain point. I'm like, can we go get Costa Coffee? So when we came out of the train station and there was a Costa Coffee right there, I was like, oh, you know. So first thing we did was beelined it, got our suitcase situated, and we sat down, got a cup of coffee. She got tea, I got a mocha. So good. And I tell you, we weren't there 5 minutes, and her husband, Gary, showed up, and he helped us get our luggage to the car and drove us there. And I want to say the roads were okay right until we hit Glasgow. And then once we were in Glasgow, then it started getting icy, and the sun had gone down, so it was really getting kind of sketchy. So we finally find the hotel. He's cussing. It was great. I thought it was hilarious because he's got that really thick, like, accent. And I was just like, deep, 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 you know, in the back seat. So we get dropped off, and it is the Grand Central Hotel in Glasgow, and it's right attached to the train station, which is why I chose it, because that way when we go to leave, it's right there. So we check in, and there's a whole bunch of people standing around on phones looking concerned, and I'm like, no, we can't. I can't do anything else today. What the hell's going on? Go to the front desk. I'd like to check in. Do you have a reservation? Yes. He's like, wonderful. I guess people were trying to get into the hotel, didn't have reservations. Oh, and I had made a reservation at Carlisle. It was like a $50 hotel stay, just in the event he couldn't quite make it to us, because all I could think of was all of these people who were trying to go further north, and they're terminating in Carlisle. I didn't want us to get stuck there with no hotel. So I did make arrangements just in case. So that's what I guess these people were trying to do. So got checked in, and then comes the light story. So she and I are fucking just done at this point. Get to the hotel and have our keys, and we go in, and I'm like, how do you turn the lights on? So we're like, click, 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 click. Nothing's happening. And I'm like, using our, it's dark, but using our phones, because there's a little bit of light coming in the windows. And I'm like, I don't see anything. What do we do? I'm over at the light switch, the lamps, everything. So finally, I'm like, call down to the front desk. I was like, I don't mean to sound like a complete idiot, but how do you turn the lights on? And he starts laughing. He goes, over by the light switch, there should be a place for a key card. You put your room key in there, and that'll turn the electricity on to the room, and you can use your lights. So that way, if you want to use your key, you take it with you, and you're not apt to leave the lights on, I guess. Wonderful. Great idea. Slide lights. We're cooking with gas now, y'all. Except it was fucking cold in the room. So second order of business is to turn the heat on. So she and I, adults, college-educated adults, are standing here looking at this heater going, it's on, like it's supposed to be on. We're hitting the button. Nothing's happening. So I told her, I'm like, I'm not calling back down there, and I don't want to be like the big idiot you call. So she calls, and she's like, yes, we tried this. Yes, we did this. No, it's not working. Okay, so they send a maintenance guy down, and I loved our room. I loved this room. Like, it was nice. It was spacious. It was like a corner room. So it was big. It was the biggest room we'd been in. All the rooms were like this big in London. So I was like, oh, this is nice. And a big open bathroom. Because I think we were like on the corner of the building. And so he comes in, he goes, oh yeah, this is broken. We can get you a new room. Or you can use the space heaters that were in the wardrobe. She and I look at each other and he goes, to be honest, because we had already pulled out the space heaters and had plugged them in because it was cold. And he goes, to be honest, your room's warmer than the people that have working heat. And we're like, we're going to stay right here. We're fine. We'll be fine right here. So we have the space heaters. The only problem was we had like 2, and the cord wouldn't reach, and there was no plugs in the bathroom. So we couldn't plug it in. So we had to the closest we could get was like within 1.5 feet of the bathroom doorway. And so, finally get situated, go down to dinner. It was a 2.5-hour wait for a table because they're at half staff. People couldn't get into work. So, had a really shitty dinner. It was, like I said, I'm not throwing shade at this hotel because they were, one, open and still smiling, even though the food was like, meh. So, she and I finished dinner, went back upstairs, and crashed. Got up the next day, and we're like, well, we want to go do something. We're here. Except it was blizzarding again outside. And so we made an attempt, and I was still feeling like utter shit. And so, luckily, and I don't even know if I knew, if I had just an inkling, but because the hotel was attached to the train station, the train station is like a not mini mall, but almost like a food court, but instead of food shops, it's like a pharmacy and a Whole Foods and a patisserie and a bar and grill, and it's just little stores and stuff. Because the pharmacy has to be open 24 hours, we were able to go in there, and they had prepackaged sandwiches and chips and medicine, which she and I both needed. So we stored up on medicine, and I had sandwich, chips, soda, loaded up. Because I'm like, I don't really, what if we don't want to leave again? Or what if the bar's not open later? What if the grill, the restaurant's not open later? We tried to go out, but and I could stand being snowed on. That's not a big deal for me. But the shoes I brought were Harley Davidson, I think they're called the Jamies, something. Well, anyway, they're warm and they're damn near waterproof. But they don't have that anti-skid tread. They're not winter boots. So we were trying to walk around, and I was just, and I'm like, I can't do this. I have to go back. I will fall. I'm going to bust something, and then the whole trip's going to be shot. So we ended up back at the hotel, and we just basically relaxed the entire time we were in Glasgow. We went downstairs, we went to the shops, we went to the bar. They had a champagne bar. We went to that. And then on the 2nd or 3rd day, we met up with her cousin when it cleared up a little bit. She actually lives in the area, so she drove, and we went out to a pub. Love the pubs. Had lunch, came back, and then it was time to go. So, we're now at the train station again, and shit's not running again because it's still snowing. So the train that we were supposed to catch out of Grand Central, which is attached to the hotel, wasn't running to Edinburgh. So we had to catch a little a bus over to Queen Street, and that train was running to Edinburgh. So we had a choice. We watched again as stuff started to get canceled, and we noticed that the one that was the direct shot via Falkirk was canceled, but the next one that had 15 stops was running. And I'm like, let's get on that train. I was like, I know it's early, because we actually left a little early just in case shit like this happened again. I was like, look, I know we're early, and I was like, let's just get on this train. We know it's running. We know it's going to go to Edinburgh. Yes, it's got 15 stops, but it's still snowing. It's going to get worse out. So she and I got on this train, and it was just a regular, to me, it almost reminded me of a metro train. And it had 15 stops, and we got off at Edinburgh. And if you look at that map, we could have walked. It was 0.3 miles. But in Edinburgh, everything's kind of like this. So we took a cab, and it was I want to say 3 pounds. That's how close we were. But I had a 30-inch suitcase too, so, and snow, and we're tired. So we actually stayed at a place called the Old Town Chambers, and it was like, I didn't know this at the time, but it's like a little mini, it's like apartments. And we stayed, like, you walk down Mary King's Close. It's right there. And we go down the little close, and we go into this, like, open courtyard, and then you walk up, like, 4 steps, and there's the, little, haha, got it. And there's the entrance to the hotel / apartments or whatever. We go, we check in, and this place is gorgeous. It's amazing. We get into we get to the room, and he's like, this is your code. He opens it up. Ooh, you walk into a kitchen with nice hardwood floors, and there's open seating, and then there's a couch with, TV area. And she and I both have our own bedrooms, and they both have king-size beds. This whole trip, in the U.S., if you book a double, at the very least, you're getting a full-size bed. Most likely, it's 2 queens. If it's a nice restaurant or a nice hotel, it's usually 2 kings. Mostly, it's 2 queens, though, just size-wise. In the UK, and I'm probably in Europe because everything's smaller, everything was a twin-size bed. I'm not made for a twin-size bed anymore. I have a king-size bed. I'm used to stretching out. I swear to God, I felt like I had to lay like this. I was going to feel like I was going to roll off. So for us to have our own king-size bed mid-trip was just a huge, relief. So get checked in, and we're right on the Royal Mile. Like, we are in the heart of Old Town, downtown Edinburgh. So call peeps. Oh, and I did meet up with Kirsty while we were in Glasgow too. So it's been it was like the whole trip of peeps. Met back up with Elaine and Margie in Edinburgh. So we walked around to the downtown. We went out to lunch. We went out to dinner. We had a great. I fell in love with Edinburgh. I love that city so much. Brett and I went out after, the next day. We went to a pub for lunch. I had this is almost mom good vegetable soup. It was amazing. Found a new beer I like. Had more fish and chips. Pretty much ate fish and chips and had Costa mochas the whole time. And then soups. That's it. Couldn't find a salad to save my fucking life. We need to introduce the United Kingdom to, salads with actual leaves, not, weeds. I ordered a salad, and it was, stem, little leaf, little leaf, little leaf, not, romaine or, big leaves. And I wanted, lettuce, a whole huge bed of lettuce, cheese, bacon, egg, dressing. I wanted a salad. And I'm from the South, from North Carolina / Virginia. So even in winter, we have pretty good vegetables. I couldn't find anything green, except for those fucking mashed peas. I like sweet peas. I like mixing them with corn or carrots, peas and carrots. I don't mind that. When you mash them, they just, why? It just tastes funny, and they taste different. So anyway, yeah, by Edinburgh, I would have killed for a salad. We went out to dinner. It was a buffet, and they had sliced cucumber on the salad bar. I thought I was gonna cry. I really did. I came back with a plate of cucumbers. And they're like, really? I'm like, shut up. The last night we were there, we went out to a horrible American restaurant. Of course, I should have known she and I were both going to be disappointed, but it was open. By that time, it was 8 o'clock. We were trying to do laundry because the place had laundry. Packed all our shit up, got up way early, 5 o'clock the next morning, took a cab to the airport, and flew to Dublin. Wow, Dublin. Dublin was fun. And we saw blue skies for the first time. They said, this weather is unusual. I'm like, that has pretty much been the motto this whole trip. That's all we heard is, we don't get weather like this. Yeah. It's because I'm here. I know. So, but they had blue skies and it was nice, and a lot of the snow had melted that had gone through. So we stayed at the Westbury, which was in downtown Dublin. You walk out the back of the hotel and you were surrounded by restaurants and shopping. It was a huge pedestrian walkway shopping mall, and you could go up and down the shops. I mean, I bought so much crap there. Pandora, I bought a little leather change purse with like 4-leaf clovers on it. I bought a pipe. I just wanted a pipe. I don't know why. I just got a pipe. I don't smoke. Just wanted one. I had like a whole bunch of stuff. Cashmere I got in Edinburgh, like cashmere scarves. Did shopping. We did food again, restaurants, just walked around. We went to, I'm skipping all of the actual touristy stuff we did. And I'm mentioning all of the food. We did other shit, I promise. So we went to Trinity College. We saw the book Kells. Walked around. Oh, we went to the Guinness Storehouse. That was where I wanted to go. She wanted to go to Trinity College. Yeah, we are those two types. Like, I wanted to go see beer, and she wanted to go see books, which I totally appreciate the books, but I appreciate them more when I can manhandle them. So I was like, ooh, book, pretty. Can I go to the gift store? Oh, and I got stuff from the gift shop. Then we went to Costa Coffee. And I got another mocha. We walked around. I remember one of the first nights we were there. We were at one of the pubs. And I think it was, I want to say the Duke, but I don't think it was. We ended up there, but I think we went to the one next to it. And it was jubilant. And the men were singing. They were dancing with each other. Oh, like, it sounded like folk tale, like folk songs, you know. And I turned to Brenna and I'm like, is this a holiday or something? And she goes, no, it's just Wednesday. Okay, like it had like a holiday atmosphere. So I think we arrived on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So Friday, you come say hi? Okay, we'll come up here then. So Friday was the day before the rugby match. I think it was rugby. Yeah, it was rugby. Between Scotland and Ireland. And so Dublin was overrun with men in kilts. I saw more kilted men in Dublin for the match than I did the entire time I was in Scotland. And had more fun those nights at the bars. Then we checked out and flew back to London and stayed at the airport location so that when we got up the next day, we could just go right over. It was like a shuttle right to Heathrow. I'm like leaving a whole bunch of stuff out, but that in general what happened. And then got home, and Brenna was like, "You need to go get your eyes checked." Okay. And she goes, "And you need to go to the doctors because you're still not feeling well." So long story short, back to where I sort of started. Went to the doctor. And that was when I went to the ear, nose, and throat. She was like, okay, we're going to take a look down your throat. And I'm like, okay, cool. She goes, I'm going to just put a little bit of nose spray in. I'm like, okay. So she puts the thing in my nose and she squirts it. I'm like, because you can taste it because it's like down the back of your throat. And it was sort of like Afrin, sort of. And she goes, okay, you should be numb. Numb? For what? For the scope that she didn't tell me about because she probably knew I was going to freak out. So I ended up getting a scope right down my nose, down the back of my throat. And she pulls it out, and I'm like my cat when he has a hairball. And she's like, well, I don't see anything. It's not like you have a tumor or any. I'm like, well, thank God. She goes, well, I'm going to refer you to the hospital to go get a barium swallow. And I'm like, okay, as long as it's not that nasty shit for an MRI, because I've had to do that more than one time. Go do that, and it was just chalk. It wasn't that bad. Like, I could do that again, no problem. The only thing that hurt is when they make you drink, like, this antacid bubbly stuff. Not antacid. I don't know what it is. Like, Alka-Seltzer, sort of. Oh, my God. It hit my stomach and expanded, and it hurt so bad. I literally came off the thing and was doubled over. They're like, are you going to throw up? And I did. But, like, just a little bit. It was just basically whatever I had just swallowed. And she's, are you okay? And I'm like, do I have to swallow that stuff again? She goes, no, you should be okay. So then she was more worried about me with the chalk stuff, and that was fine. Like, I was like, blah, 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 I could do this all day. She goes, we've never really had people with that type of reaction to the Alka-Seltzer stuff. So did that, got the results. Perfectly normal. And I'm like, I can't swallow. Literally having a hard time swallowing. It felt like I had a golf ball in my throat. I couldn't have anything with texture. Bread, chicken, steak, anything but like pudding. And it was getting to the point where even like liquid stuff, I could feel it. Didn't hurt necessarily. It only hurt when I tried to do like big bites. And then it felt like, here's the ball. And then when I swallowed, it was like this and I could feel it. So she's like, well, the next step is to refer you to gastro. And I'm like, I'm not going to go to my gastroenterologist. Oh, Haley, no! What are you doing? He's pushing. I'm sorry. And I'm like, I'm not going to the gastroenterologist because you just told me there was no sign of acid reflux. So evidently it's not. It's from, I know where it's like from here up. It's not from here down. So ended up going to my primary, and she did a blood workup. And I was iron deficient. Like, severely iron deficient. My iron deficiency was like 3. And you're, like, bare minimum, you're supposed to be 15. So I had what I now know it was anemia mouth. I didn't even know that was a thing. Evidently, if you get really, really low anemia, which you get tired and no energy, and I had, like, I was getting, like, winded coming up the stairs. Like, I know I'm out of shape. I'm not that out of shape. So, little fuzzy butt. Which the low iron would account for that. But the anemia mouth is exactly what I had. It was the split on the side. Sensitivity. That's why I called it baby mouth. Like, I couldn't have wings. Like, I was down to bland food, like pretzels and bread and toast. Because everything else was too spicy. I felt like my niece. That's too spicy for my mouth. That's what she says. And I'm like, that's too spicy for my mouth. Like, it hurt. Like, the carbonation from a soda hurt. So it was that. And it wasn't my throat. It was my tongue that was swollen, which, you know, goes back. That's what was going on. So doctor put me on liquid iron. I started to feel human again not 2 weeks later. Haven't had a single problem with my mouth or with my throat or with swallowing. So right before I want to say right before the trip. Yeah, I think it was right before the trip. I don't think I had come back yet. Had to call the ambulance because I was taking a supplement and the pill got stuck at the very opening of my esophagus. And I couldn't swallow at all, like not even saliva. So they came and had me tilt my head back and they worked it and got the pill to go down. But then I got kind of, like, not yelled at, but they're like, next time you really need to call 911 because I just called the firehouse directly because it's like right there. Like, I pass it every time I leave my house. It's like maybe a quarter mile down the road. And they're like, yeah, but it's a volunteer firehouse, so sometimes people aren't there. So just please, you know, if that pill had gone the other way, you would have, like, aspirated. It would have gone into your lungs. And I'm like, okay, next time. And, of course, parents showed up as they were leaving because I called them. And I'm like, hey, I can't swallow. I'm okay. I can breathe. You know, I don't want to freak them out. And I remember my parents rolled up as the ambulance and the fire truck and the sheriff, and I had a whole ensemble, and I looked like utter fucking shit that day. I did not look cute. Like, hadn't washed my hair in 3 days, up in a ponytail, no makeup, splotches, and I'm like up chucking saliva. I'm like, it was not a good moment for me, like, at all. So I hear her, one of the ladies, and she goes, well, she's fine. She's so adorable. And I'm like, thanks. I'm adorable. So got kind of fussed at because I didn't call 911. Then my parents got like mad. They're like, don't call us. Call 911. I'm like, fine. I just didn't want to bother anyone. You know, I tried everything. I tried drinking soda, thinking it would bubble. So anyway, fast forward to April, and I start my liquid iron, and then suddenly I could breathe, and I could move. And I had energy, and I could do things like dust and vacuum and do dishes, and it was just like it was just like I had been living in a little bubble, and then somebody popped it, and it was like, oh, hello world, here I am. So I felt so much better. So then I went to the optometrist, and I was like, look, I thought it was because maybe it's low iron, and he's like, could be your blood sugar too, because got diagnosed hypoglycemic. And so he checks my eyes, and yep, I'm now, for the first time, and the only person in my family, nearsighted in this eye, have astigmatism in this eye, and they both have a level of nearsightedness, so I couldn't see far away. I thought he's doing that with his paw and his nose. So anyway, I thought I just need reading glasses, but I can't see far away. It's an official video. He showed his butt. So anyway, got my glasses, which I, of course, went overboard and bought a ton of them. So, like, I should be wearing these all the time, but you can see the blue reflect. I got the, like, where the glasses have a tint to it to help with glare and blue light to, like, less stress on my eyeballs. But when I put the glasses on for the first time, I was like, oh, everything is so crisp. I love this. I can see. Like, my mom's like, you've been driving for a year like this? I'm like, well, I don't drive far. Like, I just go between, like, her house and my house, the gym. Oh, joined a gym again. I have a personal trainer. That's part of my getting healthy this year kind of a thing. I don't go crazy. I know the roads. I've lived here my whole life, so I know that one road says, like, Hillcrest Parkway or whatever. So I don't need to read those signs. If it's red, it's a stop sign. Plus, like I said, I've been driving these roads for years. I know what they say. Now, good thing there's no detours or anything like that, because I would have been screwed. So that's pretty much, oh, and then let me get you completely caught up. So got back in March, did the doctor / optometrist thing, and then in June went to RAGT in Cincinnati. Love that. I think I will do that for as long as she hosts it. I did the self-publishing boardroom / reader lounge again. I love doing that. I love getting questions. One of the readers that had attended actually put out her first book, so I was so super excited for her. I scared Lizzie a little bit, though. She looked at me and she was like, you just scared the hell out of me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but at least you're finding out, like, stuff now as opposed to putting the book out and then being like, oh crap, I gotta do blah 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 blah. So that was June. Oh, I've got LLS coming up, which is the Literary Love Savannah, in July. I think it's going to be my last book signing of the year. So that is at the end of July in Savannah, Georgia. So it has to be one of my absolute favorite reader-centric conferences that I attend, because everything is about the readers. Everything. So, like, for example, we're doing, like, Friday's Harry Potter themed day, so I'm going to be one of the Ravenclaw teachers, and we do questions, and people are dressed up, and there are house prizes, and, like, the house cup. There is going to be a huge candy station bar. We're doing a booze pinata, movie night, and then panels. This year they had VIP and gold packages. So, like, for example, my VIP winner is getting, like, a spa day with me. And then the gold winners, we were supposed to do a pizza party. We actually may still end up doing a pizza party, but we're going to be doing that after the bar. I know. Oh, and this seems to be like a reoccurring theme this year. So at RAGT, I did the exact same thing. I had peepers meet up, and it was like 15, almost 20 of us met up at an Irish pub. Go figure, there's an Irish pub in Westchester, Ohio, and we went there, and oh my god, they were called Irish spring rolls, and had like cabbage and corned beef in it. So good. So anyway, I found another Irish pub in Savannah, Georgia. So we're going there, and so I'll buy everybody a couple rounds, and then I'm thinking if we're hungry, we can just go back up to my room where we were going to do a pizza party anyway, order pizza and do whatever. So we have that. Then there's a huge ball on Saturday, and this year it's sort of like a carnival theme, and so I chose tarot, like fortune teller. So that's my theme for my table. I'm going as death. There will be pictures. I got this like little corset outfit, cover my arms, has like a little bolero, and I have this little cute top hat that I'm gonna wear. But yeah, so that's I think the last signing that I have coming up for this year. I've already been announced and confirmed for Rare for next year, and I'm doing the For the Love of Books in Dublin. So I have 2 book signings in the UK, and I'm just gonna bookend them. So like I fly into London at the end of September, and I'll be flying out of London, but after Dublin in like October. So I'll be there almost 4 weeks. I know, hurt me. I'll probably get on a train and just kind of go around Europe in between the book signings. That'll be fun. I want to go back to Paris. And then I want to do RAGT again next year. So right now I'm already down for the 3 book signings, 2 international and 1 domestic. What time are we at? Oh my god, it's 46 minutes. I always do these long ass videos. I am so sorry. It's gonna take forever to edit and upload. Book updates, I don't really have a lot. I want to try to do the next 3 slated. I don't know what the release order is going to be, and it could be next year. I don't know. I want to do the first book for Ghostly Echoes. I wanted to get book 11 done, and I want to get Inception done. That has been a monkey on my back for a while, and it's just now starting to talk to me again. I want to get those done. But that's kind of what I'm going to be working on. It could be 1 book at the end of the year. It could be 1 at the beginning of next year. I just don't know. Ideally, I would love to get at least 2 more books in. My goal, like what I've been comfortable with has been like 2 books a year. And I know that other authors do a lot more, but this works for me. And the well fills back up, and I have creative content to work with, and it just works. So if I can do more than 2, I'm like in the good, like on the plus side. But I think 2 is like a really good solid number for me. So at the very most, probably 1 more book for this year. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I'm working on Ode to Evil, but then I have brand new characters talking to me for book 11, and I'm just like... So I am writing stuff down. I am making notes and outlines and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try something different and try working on both books at the same time and see what happens. I don't do that very well, though. I'm very linear when it comes to writing. I have to do start to finish kind of a thing. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking. So I just wanted to get everybody caught up. My health stuff, the conventions I've done this year, travel that I've done this year, stuff that's coming up. And then I will try to do another video real soon, like real soon, where I go through the questions that have been submitted and get those cleared out again. Stay, Bale. Oh. Bale, you gonna say goodbye? No? Let me show you butthole again? Thanks. Yeah, so I'm going to just stop the video here. If you have any questions, or if you have something in particular that you want to ask, I'm going to put the link in the description box down below to the form that I use. So go ahead and submit it, and I will try to get to it this weekend. But as always, if you keep reading, I'll keep writing. Have a good weekend, guys.